This is the story of the measurement tab, the front door to every test in the program, and how we built it, rebuilding nothing. 7 beats, where we picked up, where we built, what surprised us, what we built next, the bugs that uncalled on themselves, the proof it's alive, and what it means for you. This is a through line is simple. On the platform whose product is whether you can trust a number we use Reuse isn't the lazy path, it is the safe one. And every claim here is backed by actual commits on the live website. So the measuring tab, the place where you go to actually take the test and you log your number, was basically empty. A pretty header with a bunch of coming soon links. But here's the thing. The tests themselves already existed. All 31 of them fully built, sitting in week 2 and week 8 class pages, with the videos, the units, the ranges, the scoring against age and sex. And now there's even more. There are going to be more of them to come. Who I'm still developing them. But before we wrote any code, the other rule was honest. Yeah, look at those cards. Do not have to rebuild them, because the second you try to rebuild them, they're going to drift away. And the health scores quietly disagree, and then the versions you actually validated is a mistake you cannot make. Reuse here isn't the lazy path, it is the safe path. The whole build is the story of holding that line and proving with actual math that we held strong. To actual rehost the cards, we needed one place for them to live. We've written inside the class pages to step one pulling all the 31s out into single shared catalog, pointing the class 2 pages into their own copies, and we didn't have to eyeball it. We proved the exact card setting coming out the other side, where bit by bit for identical to before. So nothing you remember used in class changes at all. Once your catalog exists, the hub page was almost easy. A search box, a classical section, grouped by pillar, cardio, strength, mobility, stability, power, plus a section for the clinical and cognitive tests. When we pointed the measuring menu at it, one definition of each card, we used it 2 places, and we implemented it nowhere. That's the whole design in one sentence. 2 places the plane hit reality. First, when we thought our test registry could hand the hub everything to draw a card, it couldn't. It was a thin index, names, IDs, but not the card actual shape, which is exactly why the shared catalog had to be his own thing. Second, one's my favorite. The plan was for the hub commit to also repoint the measuring menu. When we counted the navigation file to load by 382 pages, our catch busting rule says if you change it, you bump the version on all 382 in the same commit. You cannot blur that inside the feature commit and still review it. So we split it out, and we reviewed the giant change by proving every one of those file changes in exactly one line and nothing else. You didn't read 382 files, you prove they're uniform. A card that just scores a number is half the tool. So we finish the part that makes the number mean something. Recompute, entering your age after you log a test, and then the score files it in. No retyping, no submitting button, it just updates. The cat phrase test, the one we already validated, now already returns your percentile per leg straight from the validated score, and your number falls outside the validated range. It says it honestly instead of making one up. So your history now remembers your estimated VO2 max and your fitness rating over time, not just a raw minutes and heart rate. So when you come back a month later, you can see your numbers meant, not just what you typed and what change had reached your code. We scoped it tight and proved every other test. History was untouched. Okay, the honest one. Our automatic test flagged that the results weren't computing and guessed it was a race condition. That card loaded before the profile does to be a bad structural bug. But before we fixed anything, we traced the real code, and the race just wasn't real. The card only loaded when you tapped to open it, can't which can't happen until after the profile is loaded. Structurally impossible. What if you did find a smaller and real, your age and your sex loaded from this browser, not from your account? So on a new device, you'd see it enter age and sex even though you already said it once. That's not a real bug, and being straight with you, it's not a fix either. It's written up, scoped, waiting on one answer, and honestly, being willing to uncall a bug you already called to let the evidence make the claims smaller instead of scarier. That's the whole game. That's what keeps the numbers trustworthy. Here's the part I refuse to handwave because the platform, the product is whether you trust the number. So nothing shipped on that looks fine. The card extraction proven bit for bit identical. The 382-page navigating change proved one line per file, no exceptions, and the whole hub checked on an actual live site. The section rendered right, the empty power group heading clean. As a result, use the saved lands and the real database, which same identify the class pages use. The calf-raise gate still holds at 20 reps. Search works. The calf raise percentage. A member sees direct a call from a Vedic score exactly. No made up math. Zero real console errors. And the one honest caveat. The account hydration gap I already told you about. Named varied. That is the standard. So what's the takeaway? Reuse over rebuild, but proven, not promised. One definition of each test used everywhere, and then you actually prove it by identifying a bit per bit check and identify uniformly check live pass match against validated score. Each one's cheap together. They are the difference between pretty sure and proven, and that's the same honesty pointed at ourselves is what lets us shrink a scary bug down to the real smaller one. For you, the person trying to defend that marginal decade, it comes down to this. The measurement tab is finally a real front door. Search any test, log it 3 different ways, and the score you get is the same trustworthy score everywhere else it shows up. That number, that fact that you can trust it in every place you see it. And that's the whole product. And now it's one place, one definition, one score. Whether you met in class or on the dashboard or on the hub, all of the things match. The arcage sipped and verified. There is one open item that is named and scoped. Thank you for following the build.